The bridge stretched across the infinite darkness. Ben Solo stood at its center, his crimson lightsaber ignited, casting shadows across his tortured face. Before him, Han Solo approached slowly, unarmed, hands open, his voice steady. Ben. The name cut through the roar of Starkiller Base like a blade. Ben flinched. "That's not my name anymore," he said, his voice breaking. "I'm Kylo Ren." "No, you're not." Han stepped closer. "You're my son, Leia's son. You're Ben Solo." Ben's hand trembled. The lightsaber wavered. He could feel Snoke's presence in his mind, cold and demanding. "Kill him. Prove your loyalty. Let the past die." "I know what I have to do," Ben whispered, tears streaming down his face. "But I don't know if I have the strength." Han reached out, placing his hand on the lightsaber hilt. "Then let me help you." For a long moment, father and son stood frozen. The First Order stormtroopers watched from above. Rey and Finn held their breath from the shadows below. Ben's mind raced. He saw his childhood, his mother's face, Luke's teachings, the galaxy he had once dreamed of protecting. And then he saw the darkness, the pain, the anger. Everything Snoke had promised him. "I'm being torn apart," Ben said, his voice barely audible. "I know," Han said softly. "But you can come home. We can fix this, together." Ben's eyes met his father's, and in that moment, he made his choice. The lightsaber deactivated. It clattered to the ground. Ben collapsed into his father's arms, sobbing. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Han held him tight. "It's okay, kid. It's okay." But above them, a cold voice echoed through the Force. "Traitor." Snoke's rage exploded across the galaxy. Alarms blared. Stormtroopers raised their weapons. And Han Solo realized they had seconds to escape. "Run!" he shouted, grabbing Ben's arm. The hunt had begun. Blaster fire erupted across the bridge. Ben's hand shot out, and the Force surged. Bolts froze mid-air, suspended in time. His eyes blazed, no longer torn, but focused. "Get behind me!" he shouted to Han. With a flick of his wrist, the bolts reversed, slamming into the stormtroopers. They fell like dominoes. Han stared at his son in shock. "You just—" "I know." Ben retrieved his lightsaber, reigniting the crimson blade. "We need to move. Now." They ran toward the hangar, explosions rocking the base around them. Rey and Finn appeared from the shadows, blasters drawn. "Han!" Rey shouted. "We thought—" "Change of plans!" Han yelled. "My son's with us now." Finn's eyes went wide. "Wait, what?" Explanations later. Ben deflected incoming fire, his movements sharp and precise. "The First Order will destroy this entire base to kill me. We have to get off-world before they detonate the thermal oscillator." More troopers poured into the corridor. Ben stepped forward, his presence in the Force overwhelming. He raised his hand, and a dozen soldiers flew backward, crashing into the walls. Rey watched in awe. She could feel it, the shift in him, the light pushing through the cracks. "You're different," she said. Ben glanced at her. "I'm trying to be." They reached the hangar, where the Millennium Falcon waited. But standing between them and escape was Captain Phasma, flanked by an entire battalion. "Kylo Ren," Phasma said coldly. "Supreme Leader Snoke has declared you an enemy of the First Order. Surrender, and your death will be swift." Ben stepped forward, his lightsaber raised. "Tell Snoke I'm done being his puppet." "So be it." Phasma raised her blaster, but Ben was faster. He hurled his lightsaber like a spear, slicing through the weapon and sending Phasma sprawling. The blade returned to his hand. "Go!" he shouted. "Everyone on the Falcon, now!" They sprinted up the ramp. The engines roared to life. And as Starkiller Base began to tear itself apart, the Millennium Falcon shot into the stars. But across the galaxy, Snoke's fury ignited. The hologram of Supreme Leader Snoke towered over the command deck. General Hux stood at attention, his face pale. Around him, officers trembled. "Kylo Ren has betrayed us," Snoke said, his voice dripping with venom. "He is no longer an asset. He is a liability." "Supreme Leader," Hux said carefully, "what are your orders?" Snoke leaned forward, his scarred face filling the projection. "I want every ship, every trooper, every resource the First Order commands dedicated to one purpose, finding Ben Solo and bringing me his head. And if he resists, kill him." Snoke's eyes burned with hatred. "Kill anyone who stands with him, his father, the scavenger girl, the traitor stormtrooper. I want them erased from existence." Hux saluted. "It will be done." The transmission ended. Hux turned to his officers. "You heard the Supreme Leader. Issue the bounty. 10 million credits for Ben Solo, dead or alive. Alert every bounty hunter guild from the core worlds to the outer rim." Within hours, the message spread. In cantinas across the galaxy, holoscreens flickered to life. Ben Solo's face appeared. Wanted, traitor, to the First Order. Bounty hunters sharpened their weapons. Crime syndicates mobilized their networks. And in the darkest corners of the galaxy, assassins prepared to claim the prize. Aboard the Millennium Falcon, Ben sat alone in the cargo hold, his head in his hands. He could feel it, the weight of every eye in the galaxy, turning toward him. Han entered quietly. "You okay, kid?" "No." Ben looked up, his face haunted. "I just made myself the most wanted man in the galaxy. Everyone I care about is now a target because of me." Han sat beside him. "Yeah, well, welcome to the family business." Ben almost smiled. Almost. "Snoke won't stop," he said quietly. "He'll send everything he has. The Knights of Ren, the First Order fleet, and worse." "Then we'd better be ready," Han said. But deep in the unknown regions, Snoke was already making his next move. And it would be far worse than anyone imagined. The Falcon shuddered as turbolaser fire raked its shields. "They're gaining on us," Finn shouted from the gunner's seat. Han pulled hard on the controls, weaving through an asteroid field. "Ben, I need you on the co-pilot's seat, now!" Ben rushed to the cockpit and dropped into the chair. For a moment, father and son locked eyes. "Just like old times," Han said. "We never did this," Ben replied. "Well, there's a first time for everything. Now hold on." The Falcon dove beneath a massive asteroid. 3 TIE fighters followed. Ben reached out through the Force, sensing their trajectories. "Hard left in 3, 2, 1. Now." Han yanked the controls. The TIEs smashed into the asteroid, exploding in fireballs. "Nice call," Han grinned. Behind them, the First Order Star Destroyer Finalizer loomed, its cannons charging. "We can't outrun that thing," Ray said from the back. Ben's fingers flew across the navigation console. "There's a system nearby. Takodana. Maz Kanata's castle. If we can reach it." "Maz?" Han's eyes lit up. "She'll help us. Punch it." Ben activated the hyperdrive. The stars stretched into lines. The Falcon vanished into hyperspace. But aboard the Finalizer, General Hux smiled coldly. "Track their trajectory," he ordered. "Alert all nearby fleets. They're heading to Takodana." "Sir, should we pursue?" "No." Hux's smile widened. "Let them run. Let them think they're safe. Then we strike." The Falcon dropped out of hyperspace above Takodana. The lush green world spun below, peaceful and serene. "Think we lost them?" Finn asked. Ben stared out at the stars, his face grim. "No, they're coming. We just bought ourselves time." Han clapped his son on the shoulder. "Then we use it. Maz will know what to do." The Falcon descended toward the castle. But in orbit, hidden among the debris field, First-Order probe droids activated. The trap was set, and the hunters were closing in. Maz Kanata's castle was alive with smugglers, pirates, and travelers from across the galaxy. Ben kept his hood up, trying to remain inconspicuous. But Rey watched him like a hawk, her hand never straying far from her blaster. "I don't trust him," she muttered to Finn. "Neither do I," Finn said. "But Han does, and that's got to count for something." Maz led them to a private room, her ancient eyes studying Ben carefully. "So, the Dark Apprentice returns to the light. Or does he?" "I'm trying," Ben said quietly. "Trying isn't enough, boy." Maz stepped closer. "The First Order has your scent. Snoke has marked you for death, and the galaxy will not forgive easily." "I know." Rey stepped forward. "Why should we believe you? You've murdered innocents, destroyed villages, tortured people for information." Ben met her gaze, his eyes filled with pain. "You're right. I did all of that, and I can never undo it. But I can try to stop what's coming." "What is coming?" Rey demanded. "Snoke." Ben's voice dropped. "He's more powerful than you know. He's been manipulating me since I was a child. He's the one who turned me against my family." "Against the light?" Rey's anger faltered. "And you expect me to believe you've just changed?" "No." Ben extended his hand. "But I can show you." Rey hesitated. Then, slowly, she reached out. Their hands touched. The Force exploded between them. Rey gasped. She saw everything: Ben's childhood, his training with Luke, Snoke's corruption, the screams of his victims. But she also saw his regret, his pain, his desperate desire to be free. When the connection broke, Rey staggered backward, tears in her eyes. "You're telling the truth," she whispered. Ben nodded. "I don't expect forgiveness, but I need your help. We need to stop Snoke before he destroys everything." Rey looked at Han, then at Finn, then back at Ben. "Okay," she said finally, "but if you betray us, you'll kill me," Ben finished. "I know." Outside, the First Order fleet dropped out of hyperspace, and the castle's alarms began to scream. The castle erupted in chaos. First Order troopers stormed through the entrance, blasters firing. Smugglers and pirates fought back, but they were outnumbered. "We need to move," Han shouted, pulling Ben toward the back exit. But the ground shook, the walls trembled, and through the smoke, 6 figures emerged. The Knights of Ren. Each wore dark armor, their weapons gleaming axes, staffs, blades crackling with energy. Their leader stepped forward, his helmet shaped like a twisted crown. "Ben Solo," the knight said, his voice distorted and cold. "You abandoned us, betrayed us. Snoke offers you one chance. Return or die." Ben ignited his lightsaber. "I'm not going back." The knight tilted his head. "Then you've chosen death." The knights attacked, as one. Ben met them head-on, his blade clashing against their weapons. The Force roared around him, wild and fierce. He deflected strikes, parried blows, but they were relentless. Rey joined the fight, her staff spinning. Finn fired his blaster, covering their escape. Han and Chewie laid down suppressing fire. But the knights were too strong, too fast. One of them grabbed Ben by the throat, slamming him into the ground. You were our master. Now you're nothing." Ben's eyes blazed. He reached deep into the Force, drawing on the light, and unleashed a shockwave that sent the knights flying. "I was never your master," Ben said, rising to his feet. "Snoke was. And I'm done serving him." The lead knight rose slowly. "Then you will burn with the rest of them." He raised his hand, and fire erupted from the castle walls. "Move!" Rey screamed. They ran, the flames chasing them. The Falcon was parked just beyond the tree line. They sprinted toward it, the knights close behind. Han fired up the engines. "Everyone on board!" They scrambled inside. The ramp closed. The Falcon lifted off, lasers tearing through the sky. Below, the knights watched, their leader's voice echoing through the Force. "This isn't over, Ben Solo. We will find you, and when we do, you will kneel before Snoke once more." The Falcon descended through the mist. Ahch-To rose from the ocean, a lonely, windswept island dotted with ancient stone structures. At the top of the tallest peak stood a lone figure in ragged robes. Luke Skywalker. Ben's heart pounded. "I don't know if I can do this." Han placed a hand on his shoulder. "You came this far. Don't stop now." They climbed the stone steps together. Luke stood motionless, his back turned, staring out at the endless sea. "Uncle Luke," Ben said quietly. Luke's shoulders tensed. Slowly, he turned. His face was older, weathered, his eyes filled with sorrow. "Ben," Luke whispered, "you shouldn't have come here. I had nowhere else to go." Luke's gaze shifted to Han, then to Rey and Finn. "You brought them into this? Do you know what you've done?" "I'm trying to make it right," Ben said, his voice breaking. "I'm trying to come back to the light. But I can't do it alone." Luke shook his head. "I failed you once. I won't make that mistake again." "Then don't." Ben stepped closer. "Help me. Train me. The way you should have before." I can't." "You can." Ben's voice rose. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking for a chance. One chance to fix what I broke." Luke stared at his nephew, tears streaming down his face. "Ben, I'm sorry for everything." "I know," Ben said, "and I forgive you." The moment hung between them. Then the sky darkened. Ships descended from the clouds, first-order transports flanked by TIE fighters, and leading them, the Knights of Ren dropped to the ground, weapons drawn. The lead knight pointed at Ben. "Your time is up, traitor." Luke ignited his green lightsaber. "You want him? You'll have to go through me." Rey and Finn stood beside them, weapons ready. Han cocked his blaster. "Guess we're doing this." The knights charged, and the battle for Ben Solo's redemption began. The clash of blades echoed across the island. Ben fought beside Luke, their movements synchronized, their bond rekindled through the Force. Rey battled with fierce determination, her staff striking true. Finn and Han provided cover fire, driving the stormtroopers back. But the lead knight was relentless. He disarmed Ben, sending his lightsaber skittering across the stone. "You were always weak, Solo," the knight hissed, raising his blade for the killing blow. But Luke intervened, his green saber blocking the strike. He's not alone anymore. Together, uncle and nephew struck as one. The knight fell. The remaining knights retreated to their ships, battered and broken. The first-order transports fled into the sky. Silence returned to Ahch-To. Ben collapsed to his knees, exhausted. Luke knelt beside him. "You fought well," Luke said quietly. "You fought with the light." "I'm not there yet," Ben said, "but I'm trying." Luke placed a hand on his shoulder. That's all any of us can do. Rey approached, offering Ben his lightsaber. You're one of us now. Ben took it, nodding. Thank you. Weeks later, aboard the Resistance flagship, General Leia Organa stood at the viewport, watching the stars. Behind her, the door opened. General, a voice said. She turned. Ben Solo stood in the doorway, his hair cut short, his robes simple and clean. No mask, no darkness, just her son. Ben, Leia whispered, tears streaming down her face. He crossed the room and embraced her. I'm sorry, Mom, for everything. You're home, Leia said, holding him tight. That's all that matters. Around them, the Resistance gathered. Rey, Finn, Poe, and at the back, Han Solo, smiling proudly. Ben addressed them all. I know I can't undo what I've done, but I can fight for what's right. If you'll have me. Leia looked at her son, then at the assembled heroes. The Skywalker legacy isn't about perfection, she said. It's about hope and rising, no matter how far you've fallen. She ignited a hologram. Snoke's face appeared. It's time, Leia said. Time to end this. Together. The Resistance roared its approval, and the final battle for the galaxy began.